All right, call the meeting to order then at 6:39. Apologize for the delay. Roll call. Terry Werner, place one.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Matthew McGovern.
Here.
Maury Domingo, place 3.
Here.
Mike McLeod, place 4.
Here.
And Sam Houston Clinton, place 5.
Here.
Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Texas pledge.
Honor the flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. We have one public comment, Mary Beth Harper.
Mary, come on.
Tomorrow, in the library, we'll have creative conversation from 11 to 12, and then any book club. You have any book, come in and discuss it. That's from 2 to 3. Some upcoming events during the River Appreciation Weekend. The library will have crafts and stories about San Marcos River. We're still trying to get the mermaids. I don't know what the deal is on that. And that's Saturday, October the 18th, and our part will be in Crook Store, 413 Main Street, and that's from 11 to 12. Then starting Wednesday mornings, October 29th through December 10th for 6 weeks, we have classes. They run from 9 to 11 a.m. and this is also at Crook Store, 413 Main Street. This is on chronic pain self-management. And the classes are taught by some folks from Area Agency on Aging, and this is funded by a grant from St. David's. If you have pain from any source, anything, arthritis, back pain, headaches, whatever, this class is for you. You do need to register, so call the library, 512-357-4492 to register. Now, Monday, November the 3rd, the library will host the first ever State of the City address with the mayor. It's a fundraiser for the library. You'll have to get your entrance ticket in the library. This will provide you with 2 glasses of wine, snacks, and also you will have the opportunity to ask questions after she gets through speaking. It'll also be on Zoom. If you're on Zoom, though, you don't get to ask questions and you don't get wine.
Wine from home.
Not free one.
Well, yeah, sit there and drink to your jollies there. Anyway, if you're on Zoom, though, you don't get to ask the mayor questions. You have to speak in person. Okay, then on Friday, December 5th, this is the 18th annual downtown tree lighting. We got the fire department, the Martindale Volunteer Fire Department, with Rob Santos for all the neighborhoods. When he returns to Main Street, then the children line up and speak with him. Then inside 413 Main Street, we have vendors set up, as well as the library will be selling popcorn, cookies, hot chocolate, all kinds of stuff, and also wine. Friends of the library will have a raffle as a fundraiser. Oh, okay, this is my own, that's library stuff. I got my own personal comments here. Okay, this is about naming the Phase 1 park. Okay, personally, I think it needs to be named for George and Nancy Martindale, or the Martindale Community Park. Okay, don't call it Riverbend Park. There's too many riverbends. There's already subdivision across the river, and it's gonna look like crap when they get through with it. It's very cheap homes. Anyway, don't call it Riverbend. And Jessica Lynch, she was a veteran. She was a prisoner of war. But anyway, I don't know of any connection with Martindale. Or even Veterans Park would be good. I asked my sons, and one said George and Nancy Martindale, one said Veterans Park, the other one said Martindale Community Park. So yeah, there's 3 votes for my house.
All right, thank you.
Can I speak real quick, Mayor? On the park, in my opinion, so Nancy Martindale founded the city of Martindale as one of 3 cities in the state of Texas was founded by a woman. So if the council were to choose like George and Nancy, maybe it should be Nancy and George, or no offense to George, but you know, Nancy is the founder of the town, so that's my 2 cents.
Okay. Any other comments? Anybody have any that didn't line up? All right then, moving along, we have 2 proclamations this month because it's special. First, we have the Hispanic Month proclamation. Feel very formal now. Our proclamation is honoring Hispanic heritage and community contributions. I'm just like, is that my dog again? But it's not, it's someone else's dog, we're okay. Whereas the city of Martindale is home to a rich and diverse Hispanic community whose families have lived, worked, and built this town for as long as any others. And whereas despite facing generations of barriers to political and economic recognition, Hispanic families have persevered with strength, dignity, and love, shaping the cultures, traditions, and values of our city. And whereas Hispanic heritage represents not only the past, but also the future of Martindale, woven into our schools, neighborhoods, churches, businesses, music, language, and celebrations. And whereas we recognize the profound contributions of Hispanic residents to the heart and soul of Martindale and affirm our city's commitment to full inclusion, belonging, and respect for all. And whereas from September 15th to October 15th, the United States celebrates National Hispanic Heritage Month. And on November 1st and 2nd, Dia de los Muertos reminds us to honor the lives and legacies of loved ones. Now, therefore, I, Laura Sanchez Fowler, Mayor of Martindale, Texas, do proclaim the period from September 15th, 2025 through November 2nd, 2025 as a time of Herencia. Thank you. Oh, look who's here. I looked at Deanna because initially we were like, you should read it. Herencia Latina Corazon Americano in the city of Martindale. I urge all residents to join me in honoring the families who've given so much to our shared history, and I invite our community to participate in the city's inaugural public ofrenda as a gesture of remembrance, gratitude, and unity. In witness whereof, I, Laura Sanchez Fowler, Mayor of the city of Martindale, Texas, have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Martindale to be affixed the 2nd day of October, 2025. We'll be setting up an ofrenda up front, kind of in front of Deanna's window, so the last window of City Hall over. If you have loved ones who have passed, whether you're Hispanic or not Hispanic, if you want to bring a picture or some cherished item that you want to bring there for all of us to celebrate and commemorate, that would be wonderful. You can pick it up after the period is passed when we're done. But we're just inviting everyone to participate as they may. Yeah,
It's on our website right here. You go over. It's this one. This is in English. Yes. And then, like I said, encourage community contributions. They're examples, not limitations. Flowers, some photos of your loved ones that are no longer on this earth, mementos, so things that kind of remind you of them, candles, marigolds, the flor de cempasúchil, and then any sort of kind of encouragement words. We'll try and do our part as well for the ofrenda, so it'll be set by the window in front of between City Hall, the entrance of City Hall, and the library entrance, right in between October 15th till November 2nd, and like the mayor said, feel free to grab your items, and if they're not out there, just come inside and ask for them. We would not throw them away.
And then we have a second proclamation this month. It's a proclamation honoring survivors and raising awareness for domestic violence. Whereas the crime of domestic violence violates the basic human rights of safety and dignity, and 205 Texans were killed in intimate partner homicide, including 179 women and 26 men. Whereas the problem of domestic violence is not confined to any group of people, but cuts across all economic, racial, gender, and social barriers. And whereas the impact of domestic violence and teen dating violence directly affects individuals and community when society ignores or tolerates violence in relationships. And whereas last year, the Hayes County Women's Center provided face-to-face services for over 1,165 victims of domestic violence and provided over 6,693 days of shelter. And whereas last year, the HCWC provided these direct services to 22 victims from the city of Martindale. Now therefore, I, Laura Sanchez Fowler, Mayor of Martindale, Texas, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2025 as National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I call upon the people of Martindale to work together with the HCWC and local partners to bring an end to domestic violence and encourage all residents to support this cause by contributing essential items to the donation box for the Hayes Caldwell Women's Center located at City Hall. In witness thereof, I, Laura Sanchez Fowler, Mayor of Martindale, Texas, have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Martindale to be affixed this second day of October 2025. As mentioned, we will have a donation box here at City Hall. If you can bring items to drop off, it would be wonderful. We will just collect them and then bring them over to the center at the end of the month. And hopefully we'll be able to give things to them that will be able to help the families. Since you, if you did not know, you now know at least 22 people were from Martindale. These are people from our own community. So the least we could do is help them. Please drop anything off, tell your friends, tell your family, bring stuff, make a difference, do something. Ladies, would you like to say anything?
We just want to thank you all for your support. It matters, right? Everything that gets done, everything that's donated, your time here, it really is appreciated and matters so very much. Thank you.
Well, we are happy to help however we can.
So we appreciate that.
Here, let me do this. Gianna, could you take a picture of us?
Let's go to this podium.
Oh, that's not. Do y'all wanna pose over here? Oh, we can do that.
Yep.
That's nice.
Yep.
Come on over.
Yes.
Very
There, I'll grab it.
They move easily.
Ready?
Awesome.
So we go on either side?
Here. All right, we'll all hold it.
1, 2.
I guess like, let's do this. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, now we're gonna try first one.
Okay. I'm jumping up. Wonderful, thank you so much. You're welcome. Thank you for coming all the way out tonight. Thank you.
And y'all don't have to start.
Yeah, you don't, go ahead and go. Thank you so much.
Thank you, you're good, have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And so we had our first test of the emergency sirens tonight at 9 p.m.
6 p.m.
At 10, we're doing it again after you're asleep. At 6 p.m. And the feedback so far has been very good. Most people have been able to hear it. The concerns that we heard are simply that, not everyone can hear it inside their houses, and that's fine. because this is not, that's fine, but that's fine because this is a tool that is really intended to be an outdoor siren. It's intended, these outdoor sirens are intended to alert people outdoors. Indoors, we would rely more on our reverse 911 system and on the NOAA radios and on weather.com that's sending your phone messages. That some of the newest research that people have been doing while these sirens have been in the Texas legislature's eye has shown that these really are the most effectively used as like one in a menu of tools, not the only menu, not the only item. So, it's good that people are hearing them. Caldwell County was specifically mentioned in, Greg Abbott's, efforts to, I don't know, get all of the cities that are on rivers to have sirens. So we are hoping we'll be able to get at least one additional siren, possibly two additional sirens, so that we can put them throughout and be able to really hear consistently across the board. That might make it loud enough where you can hear it indoors regardless of where you are, but you were able to hear it from one end to the other end of the city, at least outdoors, so we're hopeful about that. If you do wanna get more involved in that, we do need people that would be available in the immediate aftermath, or I guess not even aftermath, I guess in the immediate moment of a flood or other emergency. And we are meeting for our second time on October 24th. We need two different types of people, two different types of groups. One would be the immediate people. They'll help with these siren tests and other types of preparation. And then in the moment when we have a tornado or a flood, they would work with Tommy and the fire department to make sure that we are getting a hold of everyone and that we're taking attendance of who's checked in, who hasn't checked in, all of those kind of things. The other group that we are currently recruiting for will be people that are more interested in doing the ongoing mitigation planning. So those are things like checking out our culverts around the city to see if they need to be cleaned out so that the water can flow through them at the appropriate volume when we do have a storm, or looking at issues of erosion or, I don't know, other things that affect the river. So if you are interested, please come to the meeting on October 24th, where we will actually try to get a community emergency response team that is willing to do the online training and get up and running. Second, our comprehensive plan under the Resilient Communities Program, there will be an update on October 18th. It will be an important in-person review immersion session. I don't know what that means, but it sounds really exciting. The city stakeholders and core planning team will participate in that. It will be from 4 to 6 p.m. on October 18th. That will include a deep dive into these. This is the wording that they sent me and asked me to put into our agenda. It will be an opportunity to do a deep dive into the draft plan framework and align strategies before milestone 3 for the GLO. So we will look to what is in the plan and approval of the 50% preliminary draft and full public release for community input. Then, during our council meeting immediately thereafter, they will do a 10-minute presentation to the public and receive public input about their milestones and their website, their engagement portal. And that will be our second public meeting for that project. So that is our current update on that comprehensive plan. We'll be able to at least see what 50% of the draft looks like. I believe we only have about 6 months left on that grant, so they're gonna have to write the second 50% really fast.
So are we still having a meeting on the 16th? This is a Saturday, the 18th is a Saturday.
Oops, then, no, they're coming the day of the meeting, so that would be the 16th. I cut and pasted out of her email, but she wanted to do it as part of our meeting.
So it's the 16th, not the 18th, that's what I'm saying. I figured it was a typo, so.
Yes. Yeah, cause she wanted to come tonight, but she did it after we already had put the agenda out, so I told her she had to come next time.
Okay.
Absolutely. Then, let's. The Parks and Rec Advisory Board. They have an announcement to make, are they here? Do we have someone from Parks and Rec? No?
No, this was kind of like a in-progress proposal because of their, meeting being remote last time. So it was kind of just like an overview of what's coming for next council, kind of like, so council can look at it.
Okay, so so they gave us the Rita Head cover page, but they're just not presenting it tonight?
If council wants to go ahead and move forward with it right now, they can, but there's no presentation on this.
Okay, what would council like to do?
I would personally like to table it, because I've had this discussion before. We still got the Dr. Cochran property we need to acquire. For example, a little story, Mr. Bierstead, Tommy Bierstead, God bless him, Guadalupe Gas. At one time, he wanted to have take his lunch, and he was down at the low water bridge, and they ran him off because he couldn't go eat his lunch. I said, well, you know what? We get that Doc Cochran property, we'll have the scenic overlook, and I'll tell you what I'll do, we'll name it the Bierstead Overlook. And you guys have some bulldozers and some backhoes, and if you do that, we'll name the park. So for me personally, I think we're way ahead of ourselves, because we need to establish our parks, come up with a plan, and then name them. And personally, a lot of times people donate money or donate their time or something. You know, a lot of times it's a fundraiser. And for example, my wife knows Lucy Johnson, Lady Bird's daughter. And we thought it'd be cool to call it the Lady Bird Johnson Park, River Park. You know, they got in there, and she was, keep the highways beautiful. So I think personally, we're way ahead of ourselves on this name of the park. We just got our park mobile signs back up. We're getting income. We still haven't established if Skull's gonna be a park. I just think we're way ahead. That's my personal opinion.
All right, any other personal opinions?
I think we should name the park because I'm tired of calling it phase one. I think that phase one sounds like a onset of some kind of disease.
Would you agree to?
Wait a minute, just let him,
No,
no, just let him finish.
I'm just making.
Let him finish his
I'm
opinion.
not saying conversation now. I would like to name it because I'm tired of calling it phase one, and that's just not a very special name. We could always change the name again.
Did you say it sounds like the onset of a disease?
Yeah, phase one, yeah. It does.
We all think differently, remember.
Oh,
Yeah.
not phase one, oh. Sorry for interrupting. No, it's just, I think it's time to name it, thank you.
All right, and Matthew, do you have anything to say about this topic?
I know they've been pushing this for a long time, so, I do agree with I'd like to name it after someone who's gonna hopefully donate their time or monetary input. But if someone wants to call it like the Martindale Community Park, I'm fine with that. Something generic at this point, just to get it Google Earth a little bit better, because I know that's one of the major issues is getting that identified, for, emergency services as well. So it does help with that.
Maury, do you have any opinion?
Not really. I guess I would lean towards giving it some type of a name so we all know what to call it and so that other people know what to refer to it.
But we're calling it phase
Jerry,
one,
do you
doesn't
have
everyone,
an opinion?
when we call it phase one, I know which park we're talking about, doesn't everyone else?
Yeah, when you type it, it doesn't.
I'm like to the point, I mean, we want to name them, I'm thinking there's other things more important right now.
Well, this is gonna take 5 minutes. We're gonna change it again to any name.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make a motion to table this
We're not there yet, are we?
Well, okay, I was gonna
We're
make,
not there, that's agenda item, 2.1.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
there was just an introduction if they were gonna do a presentation with them.
Plus they haven't, they're not here to do a presentation, so I think it's.
So, then we'll go on to subcommittee and liaison updates for council. Mike McLevin, Terry Werner, I know you guys have a big update, but I'm wondering if you could give me your impression of whether or not we need to be in executive council because of the legal thing that it overlaps with.
I would not see a problem with it, but if, I'm not an attorney though.
Okay, okay, so since it's not an action item, it's simply a report, I think we're probably okay. Let's try it, and if we need to, we can go into executive session. So what do you have to say? What's been going on? I know a lot.
I'll have my talk.
Yeah, Mayor, we sent you the email.
Mhm.
And, it was a good meeting. We had Brad Jones for THC, we had Gary with Turk Engineering. We, and, Terry and myself, and, Gary was on the speakerphone. And the good news is the THC says they came, they saw the lay of the land. And the guy said, it's really good to be on site to see the actual flow, the natural flow of this creek. And he realized by marking the easement and the temporary construction easement, it's obvious that we were not gonna do any harm to at that point with the graves. And at that point, he said he would have no problem if he would let us, we could go out for bid for potential contractors. That means that's just a one-step thing. I mean, that just to kind of help speed the process of step one. THC said we had to stop the job. So at this point, he says, we're good to go. That we can go ahead and put our bid packages out. And that's pretty much what it was in a nutshell. And he was there and saw everything and Gary explained it to him exactly what was going on. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So, but like I said, to clarify again, this is the first step. We're not gonna start anything, but the thing is, we're on a time frame. And by starting this process of putting out to bid, that's gonna take a period of time. So we could do two things at once. So let's just put it out for bid and start the process. That's pretty much it.
Okay. So I guess I have a few questions about that. I'm not sure that we can just put it out to bid. Obviously, we can't make any decisions about that right now, but I'm not sure we can put it out to bid because that has a lot of legal implications for the city. For example, we still have multiple properties that we would need
You're
to
correct.
begin the process of eminent domain
You're
with.
correct.
And if we do those, I know last time when we were talking about all this, it had to be really carefully orchestrated so that, Betsy Johnson had time, the 4 to 6 months that it will take her to do the eminent domain property issues. And then, we have these new properties that include Stephanie Carl and a few people that are close to her house that don't have the proper easement or at least that issue is up for debate. And then we're still $500,000 behind, but regardless of that, the timing part was that I know, they had said, if we put it out to bid and then we award that.
Well, look, let me clarify.
Wait. If we put it out to bid and we award it and it goes beyond the 60 days that Gary and, Mr. Turk were going to put into the bid to hold on to the bid person. So if it goes beyond those days, the city is liable, we have to pay the entire contract if we're not able to start the project right then at like day 61. So if these eminent domain suits are not completed within that amount of time, then we can't start with the contractor that we awarded the bid to. So we can't really put out to bid until we resolve the eminent domain things, or at least till it's within the right, like, 2-month period.
With Mayor, this committee was formed to specifically talk to THC. This is not about awarding a contract. It's about, he said, basically on that email, that we were diverting storm drainage to the ravine, and it's obvious when he was on site, he was not. So this is only about the THC, that's it. But
He wasn't the person who wrote the letter.
No,
The
he
person who
didn't.
wrote the letter
That guy,
retired.
he
Yeah,
retired, so
yeah,
he
I
took
remember
over.
that.
And he explained, when he said, he basically said, all that means is we can release it out for bid. That doesn't mean we award the bid, it's just a process of starting to put it out for bid. That's all it is. It's a first of many steps, I agree.
Okay,
Okay,
Did he say that he was lifting?
yes,
So he
to
said
go out for bid. So he said, it's really not our business at this point. He said that, he actually said that email was misleading. And really, to clarify, he is not stopping us to do anything except, we have to have the easements, and that's what you're talking about. We have to have the title, we have to do all that, but this isn't the first step of many to start the process, which is they put it out to bid. And that's all it is. We're putting out, because you remember that THC letter, they said, and Betsy said, the job has to stop. Nothing can be done. So we're at the
it was
first
a person
step.
that said that, but.
No, it was Betsy. Betsy said that, but this is the very, very first step of many. That's all it is. Step to put them
So-
out to bid. That's all.
On the note that you wrote to us earlier today, you said number 5, Brad did state that the city of Martindale could go forward with putting our bid packages out to contractors. And he has responded to that and said, I did not say this and have no control over the city's process, as noted in number 4, because the project area ownership is unclear and we cannot determine if the antiquities code permit is required, and we are waiting on the city to clarify that.
But see, the problem, Mayor, we don't
He
know.
said the antiquities
Yes, it does.
permit wasn't required because it wasn't publicly
It
owned.
wasn't a public cemetery, so all it was just a
That was
clarification.
your wording.
Well,
Yeah, I'm just saying, that's what he said
that's
on the
what he
phone.
said.
I heard
And I
him.
wrote this down, babe.
Yeah, we quoted
So-
him.
And all it is just to release the bid package. That's all it is. That's all it is. Simple as that.
Yeah,
But
he-
isn't it, if we release the bid package, isn't that somewhat of a process where you have to get the engineer and then you have to print it and then you have to put it in the paper and you start the process?
Well, we'll have
And
to
you're
ask the engineer.
prematurely starting the bid process when we haven't finished eminent domain on any
You're
of
not
our.
listening to me, Mr. Clinton. You're not listening to a word I said.
I'm sitting right beside you.
You're not
I've been
listening. You're
sitting
not-
here
you're not-
listening all the
Okay, one
time.
at a time, please.
I'm just
Let's
saying,
just be,
this is the step of many. We have to get the easement. That is correct. We have to claim who owns we don't have a title. We have a deed. So this is a first step to try to push this project along. Because it's gonna take time to put the bids out, to find a contract. But at this point, we're not gonna award anything. All we're doing is putting it out for bid. That's all it is. Simple as that.
But that's a waste of time
No,
because
it's
we
not.
already
No,
know
it's
that
not
it
a waste.
takes 360 days to complete the project.
We don't know.
We do know,
No,
we
you don't
do
know.
know.
Mr.
When
Clinton,
the
Mr.
project.
Clinton.
okay, one person.
Please, can I do my
Let's
report?
just
No,
take, let's
can
just
I
move on.
do my report? I was assigned by the mayor to form a committee, and that's what I'm doing. I'm following my report.
You went on to the cemetery without permission from anybody.
Wait,
and
wait,
straight
wait,
up
wait,
and-
wait,
Wait a minute. You're
This is not, this is not, he was asked to go and talk to Texas Historic Commission with Terry, and that's what they did.
Okay, then I'll let you finish, okay?
So this is all the first step, and who has the title, we don't know. That's what the process is all about. All I'm
That's what
saying
the
is
lawsuit is.
but the first step, it was THC said you gotta stop. He's not stopping us. He's saying, we have to do these, but you're okay to put it out for bid. That's just the bottom
He said
line.
he did not say that we're okay for
Well, let me call it.
Mayor, so Sean McDonald and I were, privy to the conversation. And what I heard him say was that he was there for permitting purposes. Langford had approached them about obtaining a permit for archaeological reasons. And he was on the understanding that an archaeologist would have to be, no, that's not correct.
Yes, that's right. It's been that way.
Mhm.
Okay, an archaeologist
Would have to be on site during the digging.
Sure.
And, but he was there for permitting.
Mhm.
He said that he agreed that the email was unclear as to that the commission did not shut the project down, that they were trying to decide if they were even obligated to give a permit, since he didn't know if it was public land or private land. If it was public land, they would give a permit. If it was private land, then they were no longer involved.
So
And
Is that right, Sean? Is that right?
that's correct. That is correct. Exactly what you said.
So there's no ownership there.
Correct.
Till they
Correct.
prove ownership, they can't do anything near the
But
cemetery.
they're correct. But
And I have one more comment. So I've been looking at deeds, and it appears that the San Marcos Missionary Baptist Church and the Martindale Missionary Baptist Church could be one and the same.
yeah,
And I am consulted an attorney to try and figure it out. Since Langford did a title search and did not find the title, which actually doesn't surprise me, because if, John gave that land as a cemetery, there's never been any taxes collected, and there would never be a reason for the land to change ownership. So therefore, there wouldn't be a title. There's just the original deed. So the other deed that I'm referring to was one where the church, the Martindale Baptist Church, was selling 2.5 acres of land to an individual from San Antonio, where they reference twice that the two churches were one and the same. So I'm following up on those leads. Because our church may own that property, and if we do, then we need to be responsible.
and then that, by doing that, like by you doing your research and by us putting it out for bid, that's it. Just put it out for bid.
we
We're not,
can't put out for bid.
I-
Mike, I'm not sure you understand.
I
this
totally
process,
understand.
Because we
Like,
cannot put out,
Mayor, I
excuse
totally.
me, let me talk, I let you talk. You can let me finish my sentence, please. If we put out for bid, there has to be a date that we pick. We award the bid. We have to award the bid. And so
Okay.
if you put it out, you can't just put it out without awarding it.
Can we talk to the engineers about that? They're the experts, not us.
Yes, but we've already done it once.
No, did we,
We've already done it
No,
once.
should-
I
should-
may
should
not
we-
like it, but
should
I.
we go?
I thought that we were gonna go out for bid and then we got that letter from
Yeah,
state.
exactly. Should we go into
Yeah.
executive session?
That's-
Should we go in and talk to our attorney?
No.
That's not your business, plan. Should we go to executive, talk to our attorney
About what?
about what we just discussed?
That doesn't need an executive session unless it directly impacts the lawsuit. If we're gonna discuss our strategy in the
We're not-
lawsuit.
All we're trying to do is try to get it out for bid. That's all it is. It means nothing. We're not awarding. How do the
You
rest?
have to award if you put it out for bid.
No,
You're
you
required-
don't have, no.
Unless you cancel it, you are, that's what.
Can we get the engineers, can we do this, Mayor? Can we get the input from the engineer? Because they're the ones gonna be submitting these packages.
Okay, so
Okay, can we do that and ask for their opinion?
Mike, have you read the response that Brad sent to your summary?
You just read it to me and I will talk to them.
That was
Oh,
one, that was one answer to one point. He has made multiple comments to each of your things that you had written, and some of them are kind of lengthy. So maybe it would be helpful to read that again, because he does talk about the issue of the easement and the fact that they have no control over the issue of the easement. That is the
Correct, that's
lawsuit, and they cannot give us permission.
That's what the whole
To do
thing was
anything
about
on it.
there. That was the whole
I
thing.
understand that. I'm not sure you do.
I do, I totally understand. Can we do this, Mayor? Can we just stop this conversation and I can have a conversation with the engineer and with Brad? And-
No, you may have a conversation either like maybe with all of us or something, but this is not working, in my opinion.
I think Brad was basically saying they don't really have the authority to stop the
Exactly.
project and they aren't.
He said that.
Because
Yes. But
it,
you also can't give us permission
You're
to
not,
do the construction involving the cemetery until we know who owns the cemetery.
I agree, but.
He said we can apply for a permit.
Well, what he said when I was on the phone with him was if it was public land, we would need an antiquities code.
and that's in the report.
And that because we don't know who owns it, but we
So we don't know what
don't.
kind of permit we need. We may need nothing,
We
we
don't-
may need an.
Mayor, we don't
He
know.
said we didn't need the
We
permit.
don't, can we just?
But basically, I think what he's saying is he's out of it. He can't stop
Yes,
the
exactly.
project.
Exactly.
And maybe we misinterpreted that he said, you guys can continue, you guys can do what the next step is, which would be to go out to bid.
Exactly,
So,
exactly.
Completely misinterpreted. That's not what I heard.
okay,
Well, I'm not heard it differently, but again, so can we just all calm down?
so what did you hear, Sean?
Is it okay to answer that?
Yeah,
I heard that he's not holding up the project, he's holding up the permit for the any excavation. So
Well-
their job is not to hold up the project, they don't know the ownership, they're not gonna let it.
That's it, I disagree with Mr. McDonald.
That's what he said.
Law-
but that's what he explained in this letter.
You know what, can we do this? Let's just go forward with a meeting and let me talk to Brad and let me talk to the engineers and we will discuss it.
I thought we couldn't spend any more money on this
We're not
project.
talking,
If you talk to the engineer, it costs us money. You sent the engineers with you to the cemetery and that
No,
costs us money.
no, it was a call.
Well, okay,
Okay,
we talked to him on the
But-
phone. All the money.
No, you know, it's obvious, all we need to do is have a dialogue. That's all it is, that's dialogue. How does the rest, I mean, we could talk, how does the rest of the council feel about it? I know how you feel, Terry, you agree with me?
Well, I agree that the historical commission can't stop the project.
Exactly. And that's all we're talking about is putting out for bid, that's it. All we're not gonna do we haven't awarded the bid, we haven't awarded the.
Well, I think we need to figure out how to get eminent domain moving forward,
Yes,
because it doesn't sound like
that's the
anything's
next
being
step.
done on that, but I don't know. So that's a different
Go ahead.
discussion.
When, in several conversations with the engineers.
Yeah.
I remember them saying that we needed to go out to bid by September 1st, so that we could get started, because we had to finish the project before the deadline set by the GLO. And we've gone to the GLO and asked for an extension, and the GLO has said, no, we've had extensions, and at least so far, the answer to that has been no from the GLO. If, let's set aside whether we will or not, let's just assume we're gonna put the bid packages out. Can we still complete this project by the deadline
Yes.
set by the GLO?
Yes, it's a long shot, it's yes. If, this is why we need to put them out for bid to start the process, putting the bid out. So what I've been told is, as long as we start construction in January, we can make the timeline, okay? But the problem is there's multiple issues.
Who told you that?
The engineer.
Who told you? I'm just curious.
The
who told
engineer
you
told
that?
me, the engineer told me.
Oh.
So it can be done, but that's why I wanted to put this process by putting out for bid, that's all we're doing. And it's gonna take, you know this more, you're a builder, you're a developer. It takes a long time to process the bid process, to get it out. That's all it is put out the bid. We're not gonna touch anything in that graveyard. But it gives us time, multiple tasking to get the bid process out, and then we have to work on the eminent domain. Everybody is correct there. We have to start the eminent domain process.
So that's gonna take 4 to 6.
Well, we don't know. We really don't know. And I think for $6.7 million is worth a shot. And it's all we're trying to do is just we did the first hurdle, we put them out for bid.
Okay, let's move on because we're going into this too deep when it's an agenda item. And can we proceed through the other items?
Talk about the roads master.
Laura, you wanna say anything else?
About the roads master plan. We need to move on.
Okay.
We'll be back to this topic in a while.
I have asked Councilmember McLeod to join me on the committee, and he's agreed to join me on the committee so that we can meet with Mr. Clark, so that we can ask, follow-on questions to the cost estimates that he gave us from two different types of road work that could be done on Northwest River Road.
Excellent.
And Mr. McLeod has agreed.
Very
He's got good experience from Lockhart Street and he also knows Mr. Clark. So I'm excited to have you join me on the.
No problem, sir. My pleasure.
I'll set up a conversation with Mr. Clark and we'll have that.
Yep,
Okay.
that was good. Matthew McGovern, cloud permit.
We've had 2 Zoom meetings already, there's a training session on Tuesday. Gone over all the forms, I'm gonna be talking to you about the fee structure, it's a little convoluted. I don't wanna go too far off topic, but it's one of those ones that we had brought to council with Jared many times and kind of dropped the ball on it, we don't have a clear cut price increase over our costs, and obviously there's some legality issues there, and it was discussed extensively during the meeting about that. So, that's probably gonna be the biggest long-term hiccup is the fee structure. And so I'll talk to you about that, but, it's moving along. I think the 15th is pushing our luck, but it's end of the month for sure.
Okay,
Feels very good. Feels
Okay.
very good to be up and running.
well, that's good. The sooner the better.
Yep.
Sam Clinton, do you have any update on the environmental ordinance? I know that we've been working on that.
We've been working on that. I did, as at the last meeting, Xerox, don't you like that word? Printed copies of the ordinance to each of our council members. If you could at least write something on there, what you like, what you don't like, and put it in my inbox. The environmental ordinance, though, was something that was much larger than I had first anticipated than the Heritage Tree ordinance. I would need to look a little farther to find out in terms of subdivisions, what they require in terms of retention ponds or impervious cover. And so I don't want to have overlapping, determination. So I'll be reviewing our subdivision ordinance with the mayor, and then we will get back to this as soon as I get responses from the other council members on this ordinance.
Excellent. Moving along, the Parks and Rec Advisory Board recommendations that you have the read aloud sheet for. This is where we would, discuss and decide whether we want to nominate phase 1 to have a name or leave it the same. You've had the sheet, do we have any motion on that? The sheet provided a sample motion. If we get a motion and a second, we can discuss it. If we don't, we can move on to 2.2.
I make a motion to table this item since the Park Advisory Committee is not here. And I think at this point, there's other pressing issues with our parks.
Okay, does anyone second that motion? All right, the motion fails, so, there any other motion?
I'd like to make a motion to name the park Martindale Community Park, with emphasis on Nancy or Nancy and George. Martindale Community Park.
Anyone second that motion?
I'll second that.
All right, and discussion. Terry, do you have any opinions about that?
I would like, if it was gonna be named Martindale Community Park, I would like for Nancy's name to come first, like Nancy Martindale Community Park.
And Matthew, do you have any opinions about it?
I don't know that. I do have a question. We're just discussing phase 1, so we're talking about this side of 1979, correct? Is what we have, that's phase
Yeah, that's
Over there.
other phases,
Okay, I just want to be clarified.
Yeah.
Where's the GPS?
yeah.
I
And
don't like
Maureen, do you
changing.
have any opinion?
Yeah, so in my research on the town, when I was getting involved with the building is, George fell off his horse and died. And,
I heard that story.
yeah, and like 15 or 20 years later is when the town was platted, and so it was actually Nancy that platted the
Yeah.
town.
She did.
And I think, Quentin mentioned that it's one of 3 towns platted. I know one of the other ones is Borough Bridge. I don't know what a
Well, it's
third
one
one
of,
is.
well, Bro Bridge is Louisiana, right? So,
Oh, but there's a Texas.
there's a Texas Bro Bridge?
Yeah.
There's a Texas one of every city in America.
But anyway, I think it's true that she platted the town. I think that it's more appropriate than to be named for her. I think it's unique. And that we ought to celebrate that. So I would say, at least as we can always, I've heard people say this, we can always rename it if we make other additions and decide that it needs to be renamed, but I like Nancy Martindale Park.
All right, Sam, do you have any opinion?
I think that is a great thing to mention, that because I live on Wesley Martindale's land, which was the last piece of the Martindale property that they had out of the 1,000 acres. They gave that piece of land to Wesley Martindale. Nancy Martindale lived over there also where the Jerry Hamilton's house is now. Nancy Martindale also gave the land for the Martindale Baptist Church. So she has given a lot to the city, and I like the name Nancy Martindale.
Isn't it true though, that when you decided to live on Wesley Martindale's property, they said you're just supposed to hold it until Laura gets there and then give it to her? I'm pretty sure I remember that somewhere in the folklore. No? You don't remember that? Mike, do you have any opinion about that name, Nancy
I think
Martindale?
I'll flex a lot. I just thought we could spend more time, think more names. I got a problem.
Okay. So then, is there any other discussion on the topic of Nancy Martindale Community Park? Are we allowed to do that? Cause I changed it from,
That's a big emotion of not.
like, do we need a modification of the motion?
You need to amend the motion.
Okay,
So,
someone wanna amend the motion?
I move that we amend the motion to rename phase 1 Nancy Martindale Park.
Community park.
Us?
Community park.
Does it need to be part?
Works for me.
No, it doesn't actually. That was the recommendation, was Martindale Community Park, so,
Community to me seems pretty.
alright, eliminating community, okay.
So Nancy Martindale Park?
Yeah,
Okay, second,
I'll second that.
then all in favor of that?
Aye.
And so now we have agreed to modify the motion. So now we need to go back and vote on the original motion as modified. So are we all in favor of the name Nancy Martindale Park?
Yes.
Yes.
yes,
Excellent. Anyone opposed? Okay, it passes. Yeah, man. It's a girl. It's a girl.
Not a disease. No longer a disease.
All right, done. The hot tax usage. So, there was a whole bunch of stuff for, how to use the hot tax. And, do you like that professional language? I sent out a handout that had about 6 or so different, resources. And the Texas Municipal League is also, sponsoring what do you call it, training, a seminar, an online webinar about what they call the Texas two-step, which just happens to be one of the resources that I sent a link out for how to do a test to know whether or not the thing you wanna spend the hotel motel tax money on qualifies with the state's rules and regulations for spending that tax. As you will recall, in the past, we talked with a now not possible nonprofit that would have taken over kind of managing this fund for us. But since that is not an option at this point, we do need to figure out something to do with that money because we're just sitting on it and we have talked about it about 5 times in the last year. So we need to just go ahead and figure something out. One option is wayfinding signage. We've had a lot of discussion about that. TxDOT has given us the information about how to do the blue and white signs that go down freeways. Or not, well, they're not freeways, they're highways.
Same thing.
So,
Same thing.
so, we could put them on 1979 or 1980 and and FM 142, whatever the 142 thing is.
I've 80 and 142.
Yes. And those would be the blue and white signs that say like restaurants ahead or whatever.
Oh, and then they have like a little emblem for what it is?
Yeah,
Oh,
so you could do those. And the emblems, turns out, are additional. I wasn't sure if we wanna do that because ours are not, we don't have like Taco Bell,
franchise, yeah.
right, you know? So, but we could do whatever we want. Yes, ma'am.
You can also use it for historic.
Yeah, you can also use it for historic. I was gonna recommend maybe getting Scott to come, Scott Joslove. He's over the Texas Hotel Motel Lodging Association. When I was city attorney in Odessa, he was like a great resource. I was about to give her his.
Well, isn't that kind of you? What
I,
an amazing thing that would be. He could come and do a presentation.
he could come and do it, and he's in Austin, so he could be here like that.
Nice. At the drop of a hat, we
Yes,
like to
ma'am.
say. The other thing we could do is spend it on, I should like, possibly, it's just an idea. If y'all don't want to, that's totally fine. I'm not hung up on it. Maybe talk to Ali now that he has purchased that corner property and got a, easement from him that would allow us to put a big sign right there that we can hang like, oh, downtown, that way.
Perfect.
Mhm.
And then just like have a little sign that says library or, duets or like whatever we wanna highlight. And then as new places come in, they can purchase the little sign,
Mhm.
you know, that for their name and put it up there on our big old sign. But something that looks kind of rural and us. So we could do that. We could also do wayfinding signs that would like show people where, like go that way for the river parks. Because then when people are here for Airbnbs, they can find them. And also whatever, cause we got 40,000, I think in that account. You could also do,
47.
yeah, we could also do an RFQ and do like a boutique marketing firm that specializes in small municipality tourism. To market our Airbnbs and restaurants and the river as a recreational activity, et cetera, et cetera. To get people to come in town and actually get those people to rent the Airbnbs. I'm not hung up on any of those ideas like that, oh, we definitely have to do this. Those are the things I thought of
I understand the first one, but I'm confused about boutique.
about marketing firms.
Marketing firm.
The reason I thought of that had to do with the idea that Maury's group had when Carlton and him and Craig were working on that. But then also, then I started looking at the governor's website, and Governor Abbott has this whole section on Texas tourism. And, it lives somewhere weird, like small business and it's under like small business and something, but like it's hidden in a weird place. But it's about businesses and getting tourism in Texas. So he has this process that you can become a designated Texas tourist city. And they recommend different small little places, advertising places, whatever, that specialize in tourism. to get you on their list and to like help market your town. So then all they do, like, I don't mean all they do, but I mean like their specialty is like running all the social media and maybe a separate website that just only does like, oh, come to Martindale, it's the most amazing place you've ever seen, and look at all these great places that you could stay, Airbnbs and whatnot. And, they do, I don't know, all kinds of little cities around
So
Texas.
kind of like a visitor center, but not really a visitor center, but advertising like that.
Online.
Yeah, advertising center,
Yeah,
yeah,
A destination marketing.
yeah.
there you go, thank you, that's
The
much
other
better.
thing, that I saw today, which I didn't realize was a thing, so there was a seminar hosted by TML today. And well, I think I was on it, the mayor may have been on it,
I had it recorded because I couldn't end up,
and I think a third person on council may have also been on it.
yeah,
But, a direct quote of what the guy said today from TNL, the lawyer, was 15% of the money has to be spent on advertising, must be. A lot of other things were a cap, you can spend up to blah, blah, blah. But the one thing that they said you have to spend a certain amount on was advertising specifically. So if we're gonna have a hotel motel tax, we have to have advertising because that's a requirement as part of the program.
Would a sign, highway sign be advertising?
I don't know. We'd have to
we
add.
have to look into the details,
I
not
don't
where
know
it is
that necessarily means
speaker.
digital only, but in the category of advertising, you have to spend a minimum.
Cause I remember we talked about this before, have a sign like, that you can hook little things like chili cook-off, water safari, river appreciation day, attach that to the sign, we have special events that we can put that on there to direct people to historic downtown.
Mayor, I sent you a PDF of this, so this is the website that we do digital. It's what we talked about once before, which is doing a stagnant, logo for the city and then having, and basically it's an LED. So these, depending on, obviously it's a size issue, but, the smaller sizes start around 15,000, two-sided, and then obviously goes up to over 30.
Yeah, that was my next question. How much it costs?
It's just, they're right here on every one. I sent you and Deanna a copy of this right now, just so you have it.
Yeah,
This is one of the few that actually gave us a price, most of them call for quote, I've called a few before. In Austin, they were goofy high, this is a national place, so.
The other thing that'd be nice, because you
So-
can change the message.
Right.
Anytime you want.
Well, one of the ideas we brainstormed before is, even if we could just print the 2 foot by 4 foot ourselves, what the changing message is, we could do that. But the price of these digitals are getting so cheap.
It seems to me after 5 or 6 years, you probably break even, right? And then after that,
Well, I mean, this is one of those things that if we have the space, this is something I would at least throw it out there that maybe we spend half the budget on something like this, if we have a spot that we can pick on 80 that works. This is by far the cheapest I've seen. I've never seen anything in this range before. But I mean, they gave every single size of their.
well, that's a good.
yes,
idea.
ma'am,
Okay, but y'all have something about scenic corridor rules. And that big flashing digital sign right there would not pass that. Okay, in other states, especially out in the western states, they'll have, like a wooden sign, and Wimberley's got a ton of that kind of stuff. They'll have a wooden sign with the name of the city, and again, like, McLeod says, you can attach like a little thing underneath there. River Appreciation Weekend, take that off, and then the next thing come up, you stick that on. And those look a whole lot more historic to match your scenic corridor thing.
I think so too.
But the big flashing signs, those are tacky to me.
I agree.
Yeah, I think we have to rewrite our scenic corridor ordinance concerning signs, because I've read it many a time and there's nothing in there about digital signs. But I am in favor of the first, I would like to make a motion. I am in favor of the first part of this, agenda item to say, let's, have a committee between whomever, the mayor and somebody else, to start looking into getting signage on Highway 80 and 142 to direct people to our city center, and we've also discussed city pride signs. So I'd like to make a motion to spend part of the hotel tax money in advertising signage for our city.
So you're just talking about moving forward and coming up with design plans to bring to council, is what you're alluding to at the beginning.
Yeah.
I agree.
I second that.
Can I ask for one point of clarification? I would like to spend a nominal amount on, Carlton's little thing out there by the silos that, had a little like that, and then it has a,
Bulletin board, just a little.
yeah, like it's glass though, where it's protected from the elements. I would really like to have Gary job floor. They will donate the labor if we have the materials, to make one of those for each of our neighborhoods, because like a lot of the people that live in Hobson or in Butterfly don't come downtown to see what's happening. So if we could put the agenda there, or like the River Festival, poster in that, or like whatever, or whatever we happen to be doing at the time, we could just go and change like that could go in it. And then people in each neighborhood would have information if they chose to, without having to go out of their way, to come downtown to find it. So, would that be a reasonable?
That passes the test.
I don't think that falls under the hotel tax.
Okay,
If it,
I mean, I like
if it
that.
were in Houston, telling people to come stay in Martindale,
Right.
that passes, but if it's
no, that makes
helping
perfect sense.
people within Martindale find Martindale, they're not. they're
Right,
not gonna find
yes, but what if it was about helping people that are staying in Martindale find Martindale events? Like
it's
Airbnb.
it. I would say
Rentals.
they're unlikely to be staying in Concept Ranch.
Well, there is an Airbnb there, I think.
There are,
Okay, well,
I don't really know,
I don't,
that's fine if it
just from
doesn't,
what I heard in the seminar this
Yeah.
morning, it doesn't sound to me like it's,
Like it
it's
would fit
super direct, yeah. They had a lot of examples of, trying to build, convention centers
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
and he,
stuff that's not,
well, yeah, but he was also like, it sounds like it should be an acceptable standard, but it's not.
okay,
So, I doubt that would pass, but
that's fine.
it doesn't mean. the
Just, I
material-
wanna do that
it's a good-
activity, it doesn't have to fit
It's a
here.
good idea, I just don't know if it comes out of. the-
Right, yeah, it
I
can
think
come
it's a
out.
very good idea, it's simply materials, and
Yeah,
it-
that slush fund that we have this year in our budget,
Let's get through the budget first, let's see where we.
that was a joke, cause we're barely,
I know.
okay, so
That's
anyway.
being facetious.
I was being, that's right, facetiousness. Facetiosity. So, then we want to make a formal motion to, I didn't understand what you were saying, make a subcommittee? Is that what you were saying, Sam?
Well, whomever wishes to work on city signage will come up with the information and present it to council. I know you and I have worked on city pride signs with TxDOT ourselves, and so the committee will reveal information about sign designs and, the
Pricing?
timeframes. Yeah. Just to start, let's start doing the signage on highways first.
All right. And that's your motion and you're sticking to it. Does anyone wanna second that?
Mari already did.
you know,
Maury already did second it, hi. So then are we ready to vote on that motion? All right, so all in favor of that, of the SAM plan, please say aye.
I,
Any opposed? All right then. Oh, one opposed and four,
no, he said,
no, everybody said I.
he simply said he said.
okay, 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 all in favor, all were in favor, and
Yes.
we're moving on. Okay, so then, approve the nomination of Quentin Matthews to the Historic Commission after the resignation of a member. Quentin's application is in the back of
Nancy,
here.
your time?
Jane did. She had some health issues.
Jane, who?
Well, actually, I'm sorry, I didn't say that, because the attorney said, don't say that. So,
Just say she was on.
she resigned,
Yeah.
yep. Yep, Jane Carter,
I didn't hear what you said. You said she resigned. You didn't say anything else.
exactly, that's all I said. So,
I have a comment.
yes,
I would also like to be considered, I just put my application in this morning, and I didn't see it advertised, but when I printed out the packet, I saw that y'all were considering this. So I would like to ask if you could put this off until next meeting, voting on it, so that we could both, be contestants for the position.
are we allowed to do that?
You can motion to table.
Okay,
If
does anyone want a motion to table?
I'll motion the table.
All right, then, we will motion to table.
I'll second
I
that.
have a second.
Terry will second that, anyone in favor?
Any discussion?
Any discussion?
Do I get to
I'm
say
tired, I'm
anything?
tired. What?
Do I get to say anything?
Of course you can.
All right, well, it goes on my, application, when I typed this out, it was like super duper tiny. You
Yes,
couldn't read anything,
yes,
so that's why y'all get my awesome handwriting.
I love
But anyway, I was on this historic commission for 7 years. I served on there with Mr. Domingo, with you briefly, Laura. And, I was planning to hopefully be voted on this evening, but that's not up to me. As far as my qualifications go, like I said, I was on there for 7 years. I live in the city limits of Martindale, which there are many different commissions. People don't live even in the city limits of Martindale. I live in the city limits of Martindale, and I live within the historic district itself. And I also, I stepped down a couple years ago because of my wife and I were adopting a child, so I always planned to return. And then I also was looking at, I should include it in my application, with this awesome preservation boot camp certificate.
That's right, that's right, you do,
So,
that's right, you do.
so those are some of my qualifications, and I'll leave it at that.
Well, thank you, sir. All right. What are we doing? Oh, we have a second.
vote.
Discuss.
Have a second,
Yeah.
we're discussing.
Motion
All right.
second, we're discussing.
Terry, do you have anything to discuss?
I wouldn't mind waiting to see the other applicant, but we've already seconded the motion, so I don't have really anything else to talk about. I'm good.
Matthew,
I think it's,
and, hold on,
I'm sorry.
Maury,
Go ahead. You should say.
all right, Sam,
Table it, yes.
all right, and,
I think we agree on table.
all right, everyone in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All righty then, we will table it until next time. Next. All right, y'all, the time we've all been waiting for. The GLO has asked for a vote to take place to approve continuing the grant or self-terminating the grant. They have stated that they do not have an opinion. They do not intend to influence the city one way or the other, but they are very anxious for us to go on record so that they know what we're doing, because apparently they want to know, and so does HUD. We have been doing very little for a few months now, and they want us to go on record. So we need to vote tonight on whether we will be self-terminating or continuing to move forward, and it's gonna be a roll call vote, so Deanna will be taking notes on it. Then tomorrow, I am expecting a call from them on my day off, not really, to report whatever we decide. So
I'd like to make a motion to self-terminate the Northwest River Road Flood Mitigation Grant as of this date, October 2nd, to self-terminate the grant.
Do we have a second?
For purposes of discussion, I'll say.
All right, and now we can have open discussion. Terry, do you have any discussion?
I think we should let it play out. I don't think we should self-terminate. I think we should wait until that the deadline is absolutely gone to where we have no other choice. And I don't feel like we're at that point.
And Maury, do you have any discussion?
Otherwise, Matt?
No, he can't. Okay, yes, abstain.
Okay, so I was just trying, knowing this was gonna come up, I tried to collect my thoughts on this. So, I think it's gonna be extremely difficult and unlikely that we are gonna be able to complete the work on this grant by the expiration of the grant itself. The eminent domain is 40, we have citizens that are opposing it. It's not gonna go away easily. We have the lawsuit that has to be resolved with the ownership of the cemetery. And then construction projects themselves, I haven't had a single one that's come in on time, in my experience. I have always run into issues that have delayed it, not accelerated the project. So I think I have a lot of concern that we would be able to complete it within that time frame. I think the risk of going forward with the project is, to the city, is very high. As I understand it, any expenses that we incur after good faith has been exhausted, would have to be paid by the city. They couldn't be forgiven by the GLO.
What do they consider good faith? I mean, how do we determine when that's expired?
Good faith in general is, something beyond our control.
Right, which is exactly what it is.
Which is exactly what it is. So what the GLO has said is that any money we've spent prior to the date that we had the good faith event happen can be forgiven. And they give us an example of a city that happened to, and they were forgiven. On the other side of that date, any expenses that we incur cannot be forgiven. Those will have to come out of the city's budget. Right. If we take this, I just got 2 more minutes just to get my thoughts out.
Go for it, Dave.
I wanna hear yours. I wanna hear your thoughts. Anything after that, we would have to repay. And so I know there's concern on both sides about will the GLO actually forgive us for stuff prior to good faith? But there's more risk for money spent after good faith, good faith event, which would be the THC or the lawsuit, you could use any of them. Any money after that can't be forgiven. So if we took it all the way to that end line and we don't complete the project, any money that's spent has to come out from us, has to come from the city itself. And that to me is a very risky way to proceed. I think, because of all those reasons, I am extremely concerned. I think the greater risk is in continuing on with the project rather than self-terminating the project. So that's where I am.
All right, thank you. And Sam?
I'm pretty much agreeing to all of that. I think we don't have enough time to complete the project. We have seen in the past that the process, the eminent domain process, took a very lengthy amount of time, and in the past administration, it was very frustrating and took a lot of time, and there may have been some missteps in the procedural steps and the filling out of the paperwork. It's very complicated. very complicated to go through old deeds and figure out easements, and we just don't have the time for it. We don't have enough time to do eminent domain to go by November of 26. So I think we should self-terminate the project.
And Mike,
Yeah, I see your points, Maureen, but again, those decisions like that have to be in executive session. That's a contractual issue. And they give an example of the previous city. We don't really know the ramifications, so we really need to be in executive session with that information. And back to the other point, Terry and I, we had the meeting, and I will reach out to Brad. We had a meeting, and it's the very first step. And they agreed, and I will clarify with Brad that
Well,
we.
and let me add, I was not in the meeting where they went out to the
You weren't.
cemetery. I was on a phone call when we talked to Brad, and he said some of the exact same things that Mike quoted in here. And then we planned to go to the cemetery, but I ended up having something scheduled at that exact time and couldn't even be on the phone. So I wasn't,
You were at the meeting,
no,
that's right, clarify.
but I was in the phone call when we talked about it, and then he said, I would really rather meet in person so we can see the site. And we didn't know if he was gonna be able to do that or not.
Which he did, and
He
he
did.
understood, we're doing no harm to the graves, because we're channeling water, the actual flow.
Right, and
that's
I was reading some of his comments,
Yeah, so-
and they are kind of confusing because
So
it
the-
does sound like he's changing what he told us.
So let me reach out to him with the engineer, give me a chance. And talk to him, because the way I understood it, I wrote all my notes, and basically what he said, we are not, we could, and I'll clarify with him, that we could go out for bid, and that's all I'm saying, go out for bid only. We still have to resolve the title, we still have to resolve the ownership for that. But then I would like to do, like, have a conversation with Betsy, our eminent domain attorney, to see, okay, Betsy, we've gone to the first step. We have, and I'll clarify this with Brad in writing, but he's basically given us the green light to put it out for bid. So that process starts, we get with the engineer. At that point, we need to talk to Betsy to say, okay, Betsy, we've been released. I'll clarify with Brad that we've been released to put it out the bid. By the way, we've done that. How, okay, the process of, my question would be, the process of obtaining a title when there's no title, and we did an extensive title search. We have a deed from the church, but we don't have a title, so what process at that point? And that conversation, I think, needs to happen with the expert who's the eminent domain attorney.
Well, and I thought Alyssa in her email said that they would get a permit for the archaeologists, that,
Yeah, well, okay, let me clarify, the archaeologist, in my letter, we basically, the last thing, we do not want to touch the grave. I mean, I stand firm on that.
Right.
So what that means is you have somebody spotting that, if we start the project, archaeologists will be there, and they will be spotting that excavator backhoe, it'll be right there on site, and if anything's disturbed, the job gets shut down. And bottom line is, with that excavator's going in, it's into the ravine, not into the grave site. So we did some measurements, and the problem is, we need to get an easement, that's correct. And with a temporary easement, which is a construction easement, will be approximately 12 feet from the last unmarked grave, which we really don't know if it's a grave once it's dug up, but we're 12 feet, so we're way, way, way from the grave. So I don't think it's worth the conversation. We formed this committee, let me reach out to the parties and have a discussion.
I honestly don't think that we need to talk to Brad anymore. I think he's basically said he doesn't need to be involved because
Okay,
the part of the project that he thought was his responsibility is not really.
I want to be totally open about this. And people have concerns about with the T's, I want to have a conversation with them. And we need to clarify what he said. We could do another email or whatever, and I didn't get a chance to read that, so we'll sit down, I could talk to him about it, And then, this is what I was told by the engineer. Okay, we have to start the job by January, right, period, okay? If this is why we formed this committee, and you were nice enough there, the mayor, to form this committee to try to push this job forward. So we get this committee going, we have the THC, I will clarify with Brad. So basically, we eliminate that problem, that's when Betsy said, we have to stop the job. And that's with THC, and he said, no, we can continue. So at that point, we could do two things at once. That's why I said, we need to clarify with the attorney or clarify with the engineer. We could go after bid at the same time Betsy can work on the eminent domain. I'd like to have a conversation with her about the problems we're having with no title, with, we need a title to get an easement. So it's complicated, but I think we need to have that conversation.
Dorothy, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I just had a question, Lori, what you were talking about, forgiving money half spent. Do we have a number?
I know we didn't spend any money when the THC came, when we met with them.
No, see, the problem, Maury, I totally see your logic here,
Yes.
but that really needs to be an executive session. We really need to know the numbers, and we really need to know the ramifications. I mean, we can't say, well, they had another city that did this. It has to be sat down with all parties involved to see what the ramifications are.
Okay.
That's
So,
all.
yes, okay, so my comment is, what is that number that we're talking about being forgiven? And then, as a property owner in this process, would be very interested to know how much money has been paid to our eminent domain, attorney. I know we brought her in and then we had to stop. The eminent domain process has been, in my personal, I don't know anybody in the neighbors that has been a huge mess. And,
Have you been contacted by the eminent domain attorney?
Not in months, because she stopped working when we were both.
I don't even know.
So,
It has
so
been,
You really can't talk about
Okay,
specifics
okay.
though.
Yeah,
so
that's
my
getting
question
into
is,
the law.
there are so many questions that homeowners, we do not know.
Yep,
And we are the ones who are gonna be impacted the most.
and that's just more evidence that this is,
No, I'm not saying I don't want it, I'm not saying to move forward, I'm not saying to not move forward. But there's a lot of questions, that have not been answered, and I think.
here's my point.
okay,
I think you're right, we do not.
Okay, no, I think that, thank you for your comments, I appreciate it, but I really don't want this to turn into
No,
we're all talking with.
I'll make one more point.
Make it to the council, please.
I'll make it to the council, not to Dorothy, to the council. Okay. We got stopped at THC, so we've never had a chance for Betsy to go forward with, she could go forward with the 3 properties. The graveyard's a problem, I agree, but we have not had that conversation with her because the THC shut us down. So
We
this.
thought they did.
They thought they did, so they thought, so that's it's a step process, so we got that step. So I think we need to have a meeting with Betsy, our eminent domain attorney, saying, we got this step done, how can we help you go forward, or what can we do?
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have an additional comment?
Yes, I think so far in terms of the engineer and Langford, I think we've spent roughly maybe $600,000 or something. Each, so we've spent about 600,000 so far.
Two.
And
1.2 million.
how much? 1.2
$100,000
for each one.
So 1.2 million.
And they're almost maxed out on their expenditures based on these milestones. And so I appreciate Mike wanting to get together and talk to these other parties again, but as Maury mentioned, since the lawsuit from THC has been submitted, any monies that we're talking about.
THC is, there's not a
Well,
lot.
okay,
You're wrong, Sam.
so let me finish my comment.
You're
Is
wrong,
that-
the wrong statement.
Well,
Okay,
whatever
if that's
lawsuit,
mistaken, but he still has the
We-
right
we-
to express
But
his
I
opinion.
agree, but he has to clarify, correct it. It's not a
Excuse me,
loss. I'm sorry.
are you running the meeting?
No, I'm not.
Then just let him talk.
Go ahead, let's call it, as Judge Judy says, a kerfuffle, okay? We have a kerfuffle with the THC, and so I'm still making my comment, and that you've talked about having meeting with this person, and meeting with this person, that's dollar signs going up and up and up. And so I'm tired of spending money, I'm tired of the discussion, and the eminent domain attorney has told us vaguely that it was gonna cost about $15,000 per parcel for her attorney fees for the eminent domain attorney. We have other properties on the other side of Northwest Road that may become a part of the eminent domain. I think we've had enough discussion about this. I've made my motion. Mari has seconded it. I think you've said enough. We've all said enough. I'd like to bring it to vote, please.
All right, then let's call the question.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Sam. I would like for the motion to be a little bit more amended, just because self-terminating sounds like very broad, and we have another grant right next to it,
Right.
so it's.
It needs to be a little bit more specific.
What does it need to say?
Basically,
I have it is, if you like to
Yeah.
review real quick, just give me 1 second. I'm putting some contract numbers together.
Thank you. Very small.
yeah, he needs to
Just
say.
so you come through your. Okay, everybody else.
No, I brought it up many times, just to remind you, 3 different laws, and you cannot make anything against them here.
He needs to say,
Sam, you need to
Yeah,
say.
right.
Only a blank.
yeah. So,
Should we leave this section?
yeah, we're
The
gonna,
remainder of
we're
that.
gonna leave that. We're gonna say, we're gonna do a motion to self-terminate Northwest River Road grant. This grant only applies to the section of Northwest River Road from Lockhart Street to the Shoe Tree. The remainder of the Northwest River Road out to Highway 80 will be reconstructed, through a separate GLO grant and the Caldwell County Road Bond that passed last year.
That's the contract.
Yeah.
The notes.
Yeah. And so,
Should we incorporate that
yeah, I'll
somewhere?
work with the contract number in there. Yeah.
Cut, and then,
You have the contract, where'd you get it?
right here, on my side, people.
You,
Yes, I heard that.
contract 22?
What is it?
Contract
I
number.
put it up.
Yeah, contract number.
Once you run it down for it, that's.
Yeah.
It's on there.
Contract 22 dash 085 dash 040 dash, is that D288?
D288. D288.
Yeah,
Oh, there's the motion.
yeah, that's the motion.
All right. so
But you just need to, that particular contract, is what you don't wanna do is terminate the other.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that would be
You know what
bad.
I'm saying?
That would be real bad.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Okay,
Okay.
so Sam, that's what you have to say.
What you need to
I have to amend my my motion. And, I'm referring to the Northwest Flood Mitigation Grant from the Lockhart Street to the Shoe Tree only, and it is going to be referred to as 42805 dash.
No,
Or-
no.
Just read that. Just read that up there. Plain sight.
Right after
Motion
your name,
to
just read it.
self-terminate.
Motion. What?
Make it bigger.
Okay.
Very good. Perfect.
Okay. Motion to self-terminate the Northwest River Road grant contract number 22-085 040 D288. This grant only applies to the section of Northwest Road from Lockhart Street to the Shoe Tree. The remainder of the Northwest Road out to Highway 80 will be reconstructed through a separate GLO grant and the Caldwell County road bond that passed last year. Motion to.
No,
No, that's
Okay,
your motion.
That's good.
that's it.
That's your motion.
Yeah.
Just need a second.
Second.
Okay. So Terry, how do you vote?
No.
Abstain, Maury, Dom and Joe,
Yes.
Mike McLeod,
No.
Sam Houston Clinton.
Yes.
The mayor have to break the tie.
I vote yes.
Your mistake. You will regret this.
We will, let JLo know tomorrow when they call. The motion passes. And we don't need that to find. We need to have the motion for adjournment.
You can't walk out of a meeting.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Because you didn't get it.
Make a motion or, I believe it's me too, but anyway.
Second.
I'll second that.
Thank you. And all in favor of adjourning? Aye. All right, we are adjourned at 8:16.